in school, and I'm just going to run through one or two of the things that you'd be expected to do. The first thing is this coursework, which involves, as you can see from the slide, quite a variety of materials that you'd be involved with and the ideas. So we generally start with a heads project, which basically takes all GCSE groups through lots of skills, so that we feel you're all up to speed by Christmas. Then we take you onto a landscape or an organic project, which is taking photographs of the natural world around you. That leads you to Easter. And then after Easter, pretty much because you've experienced lots of materials like painting, drawing, printing, oil pastels, some clay work, some textiles like batik, we then decide to just set you off with some exam paper titles, questions, and then that's when you start to develop your own complete individual ideas. So we try and do that around about Easter in year 10, sometimes earlier depending on the student, but generally. On this slide here, on the right side, it shows you the exam. It's a 40% exam. And basically, that is from the Christmas until May of your final year in year 11. And it's worth 40%. It has all the same sort of elements of your coursework, but it's just answering one question. And the piece you can see there is someone's done something based on identity, and she's done lots of drapery and her own photographs and looked at some art history and tried some oil painting and some collage. So that's a good example of a level 8, level 9 GCSE piece. The exam board is AQA, like many of your GCSE subjects. There's a wide range of media, which I've just shown you. You'll develop your own ideas and take your own photographs, and you do your own research and find out about your own artists. These are some good examples of a level 9 student who's taken their own photograph of their father, but it was an interesting bird's eye view taken from the banister in the kitchen down at her dad working, and then the other one's of a self-portrait dressed up in 3 different ways, or covering their mouth or covering their ears, and it's to do with social media. So some ideas that students pursue are to do with family and close friends, other ones are to do with issues such as the pressure of social media on young people. Introduction, I mentioned earlier in year 10, that gives you an idea of some of the things you'll do as the heads project. So pen and ink, pencil, a number of these small studies are home learnings, which get added onto your prep sheet at the end of the year. These 2 pictures on the right are someone's own self-portrait photographs that then she's painted on top with oils. We ask you to experiment with materials, so here's a good example of collage and painting and pop art. And the image on the right is using their own photographs and developing different compositions and effects using different apps on the system. And so we are looking for you to develop your ideas. We're looking for students who want to think for themselves, show some initiative and independence, and are willing to take their own photographs and try out some materials and develop your skills as well along the way. That's the sort of student who's going to do really well at GCSE Art and Design. The craft element, because we call it art, craft and design, is just so that you experience a range of materials. So this piece of batik on the left is hot wax, and the constructions on the right by year 11 student is card constructions with light lanterns. So the one on the right would take you into the fabric and textiles industry in the long run if you're interested in pursuing that, and the one on the right is like furniture design and architecture and product design. So we do try and encompass different art forms and areas of the arts industry, even during GCSE, and you focus more on the A level if that's what you want to pursue. Ideas both personal and public. First one here, someone's angry about certain political issues. The one there is about, I think, drug taking in sport, so you've won the trophy, but it's done sort of through cheating. I think that person is based on a cyclist many years ago. This gives you an idea of home learning. All of those small studies on these 2 sheets are done at home, and then they're stuck onto your prep sheets afterwards. So you do have to be doing your drawing once a week, or your IT, or your own photographs, ticking over at home. I always think art is really good when you do your personal work at home, and then you materialise it on a larger scale in class in front of your peers. Photography and ceramics are 2 other areas that you'll do during the course. So you take your own photographs, we'll teach you how to use good camera use and lighting effects. And ceramics, you'll all get to experience some clay work during the 2-year course. Final outcomes, here's a stream of year 9s. First one's based on the environment, second one's on self-portrait, dressed up for Halloween or something, and the other one's to do with identity.